through the destruction of its value, through all these cost increases, you've already been cheated out of it. But because that's all you got, you're going to stay in it. And you're going to let them raise taxes on everybody else and on your children and grandchildren because, you're only getting $600 on average a month. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You paid into the thing for 40 years. I mean, come on. And the trap is set, and they know they've got more than half the public on the dole, and now they're moving in to destroy what's left of a free market, and to take over the media, and to censor the internet, and to shut down freedom of speech, and to decide who can have a car dealership, who can have a factory. It's all being announced. It's all being done. And it's not communism. It's not socialism. If you use those false terms that are only 150 years old. If you want to use those terms, Karl Marx said that socialism then leads to communism and the withering away of the state. It's the opposite. Socialism leads to communism, leads to fascism. You look at what China has today, it's fascism. You look at what the U.S. is having, fascism. England, fascism. It's fascism. It's where a ruling elite control the government and control industry and control everybody's lives. And the Republicans will not tell you that. They will not tell you the insurance companies 94% of the lobbying money for this government takeover of health care. They will not tell you the big banks and insurance companies are all lobbying to give the Federal Reserve unlimited power and lobbying for the VAT and the sales taxes and the carbon taxes. Of course they're lobbying for it. You heard Glenn Beck, who admits he has dinner with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, both pushing this. He's going to sit up there and say, man, we're going to pay off the debt and 100% of it in a constitutional convention, which they could rewrite the whole Constitution inside that. I mean, that's why Glenn Beck is so bad, because he'll sit there and tell you about the progressives at the low level, tell you about the collectivists, tell you about how they're criminals. He'll tell you the truth about the illegals, but then he gives you false solutions at the end of the day, and that's why I'm forced to expose him. Very, very dangerous. Because he's slick, and he's intelligent, and he's an actor, and he knows what he's doing. So, here we are now. Here we are with Obama announcing that they're going ahead and putting the giant taxes through executive power outside of law on the coal-powered plants that supply 50+% of our power. Giant taxes on the coal mines, which aren't passed on to the Chinese. They'll just ship it in. We'll just lose our jobs. Giant taxes on electricity, and the cities are all doing it, and the states are all doing it. Austin, $2.6 billion over the next 3 years they want to foist and just add on to your gas and electricity bill. That's Austin Energy. That's just where I live. That's a city of less than 1 million people. Metro, it's more. This is bondage. $2.6 billion over 3 years is bigger than the whole city budget those 3 years. And that money all goes out to the private banks. But don't worry, Glenn Beck says we're going to have a constitutional amendment to make sure 100% of your tax money goes to the bankers. But we'll get it paid down, he says. Yeah, just like they gave, in 1956, $1 billion to Nigeria. And they've paid over $50 billion, and they still owe another $50 billion. That's pretty good. You pay $100+ billion on a $1 billion loan. Oh, yeah, they're going to pay it down in 10 years, and they're going to cut the government, aren't they? You either get angry and realize that we're going into feudalistic slavery, and you overrun the neocon talk show host, who are giving cover to the globalists, and you overrun the liberals. And that's the good news. In fact, will you guys reprint that for me? I had it here in my stack, and I'm having trouble finding it. It was that Hill article about 40% of the Tea Party people being Democrats and independents. That's the big secret. The Democrats at the grassroots have finally figured out both parties are bad. They finally figured out it's all a big scam. That number is going to be 60% in a year at the rate we're growing. That's why they call it a right-wing racist Tea Party. That's why they send in Fox to take it over and make it a Republican Party event. And they have Fox Nation and Tea Party Nation funded by the RNC publicly. So it is a Republican event so that people can't get together. And I've seen video all over the country of Ron Paul supporters try to go to these events and point out and hand out films and hand out pamphlets and point out that Republicans are for big government, it's all a corporate takeover, and those Tea Party people come up and beat them up. And the liberal media, the controlled liberal paradigm side of the media, they never decry that. They cover it up when illegal aliens beat up Tea Party people. But when Tea Party people beat up someone and stomp on them and jump on them and the police come over and help, oh, that's a good thing. The Tea Parties are getting smart now, Media Matters says. They know how to deal with these Ron Paul people. See, now here's the Hill. Survey, 4 in 10 Tea Party members are Democrats or independents. Shattering the myth. Paul Watson wrote an article about it. But they say, oh, it's bipartisan. It's not bipartisan. It's people that are onto your scam. When they say bipartisan, that still puts it in the Republican-Democrat system. Volcker, carbon tax, VAT, should be on the table. Wall Street Journal. The U.S. should consider a tax on carbon or a value-added tax if it can't tackle the deficit. What do you think the carbon tax is? It's a VAT on everything that has carbon involved, when that's part of the life cycle and part of all human activity. Bill Gates gets up and says we have to tax each human. We have to reduce the number by half. Because humans are bad, we're putting out this gas. They picked the gas because you exhale it. It makes you the enemy. Don't you get it? They said this. Club of Rome, 91. The U.S. should consider a tax on carbon or a value-added tax if it can't tackle the deficit by cutting government spending. They're not going to cut government spending. They're going to increase it, and they have. Former Federal Reserve Chairman Paul Volcker said in an interview aired Tuesday and Wednesday on PBS, I think if you can't do it on the cost side, we've got to do on the revenue side, and it's too early to do it, but it's not too early to be wondering. See, they're just introducing, acclimating you with conditioning. Oh, microchips, everybody's going to have them. Oh, you'll have to take a microchip from the pharmacy to make sure you're taking your pills right and not abusing it. Everybody gets a microchip in their stomach now. That's Associated Press. Oh, we got to have troops on the streets. You know, they're at the Kentucky Derby. They're at the Super Bowl. They're at NASCAR. They're running checkpoints for DUI. Oh, we got to have. Oh, yeah, a lot of them are foreigners now, but that's all right. We still got to salute them. You're not anti-military, are you? One possible approach, as people have talked about, is a carbon tax, a tax on energy. That's a big revenue producer if you're willing to do it. Not very popular, to say the least. But see, they'll bankrupt things even further and hold us hostage and say, either you pass this tax now, or your 401ks will go down to zero. And the yuppies will pull out knives, slit their throats, and say, Heil Volcker, Heil Barry Soetoro, Heil the Republicans. Glenn Beck says it's good. Yes, 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 pray for me. You notice they've been busting militias and setting people up and creating hysteria, shutting down capitals and courthouses, claiming patriots are about to attack. Now they've released one of these staged videos with government operative Tim McVeigh that they haven't released now until the 10th anniversary or the 15th anniversary of Oklahoma City. Right on time to stage terror attacks this month or next. They've got all these specials coming out. They're falsely claiming that I'm calling for violence and others are, instead of exposing them for staging the attacks. You can see the psyop, and it gets clearer and clearer what we're going into. And they have to do this. They know it's unconstitutional, unpopular. They know 99% of Americans in Gallup polls were against the banker bailout takeover. Now they want even more. Now they want to hold us hostage, to take the pension funds, to put sales taxes in, value-added taxes, expanded federal property taxes, environment taxes, home inspections. And what they're going to do is they're just going to kill cops and blow stuff up and blame it on anybody who's against them. It's real simple. They're going to sick Northcom on the American people. And it's a life and death situation to get the news out to the population. And to point out that you're going to get the value-added and sales tax and carbon taxes, and you're not going to get your income taxes cut. You just got them raised. This is the ruthless takeover of society scientifically.